All right, y'all. So we gotta talk about Social Security. The thing millions of folks are banking on for retirement. Yeah, they're saying it might be on life support by 2034. So I'm talking about benefits getting slashed, seniors struggling with health care, and a whole lot of mess. Unless we can figure it out how to get it together, or at least how they can figure it out, which is our government, how to get it together, because they have mismanaged the money yet again. So, what's good? I'm Gary from FitnessFirstNutrition.com, back with another video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And let's get into it.
May be at risk if Congress doesn't take action. An annual report by trustees says Social Security trust funds are expected to run dry in the year 2034. This is 1 year earlier than previously thought. Now, if funds run out, revenue from payroll tax and other sources would only be able to cover about 81% of benefits. Now, the trustees report blames several factors for the shortfall. That includes a law passed by Congress that increased benefits for some workers and slower average earnings growth. Medicare is also predicted to lose its ability to fully cover benefits like hospital stays and hospice care by the year 2033.
All right, so let's get to the meat of this. So, obviously, we just heard what the reports are saying.
Why is Amazon paying me $63,000 a month?
That the Social Security trust fund could be running dry by 2034, and that they will only be able to pay about 80% of benefits, which is a 20% cut. Now, I want you to think about this. So, for the average retiree, that's like $200 to maybe $800. You know, people's your Social Security ranges on how much money you've put into the system over the years. On the very, very lowest end, we'll say is no, 200 is probably too low. So 20% we'll say is about 300. So from 300 to 800 could be 1,000. So do you know what that means? That means it's less money for groceries, it's less money for rent, it's less money for mortgages if you still have a mortgage when you retire, less money for your what else do you pay? Your property tax on your home if you own your home. So that's also less money for healthcare, as they mentioned. So seniors are already out here struggling, as now, and now we're talking about pulling the rug from out under them, because these are things that were promised to us. We pay into the system. For those who don't know how Social Security works, you pay is 15%. So that's what Social Security tax is. You pay out of your paycheck. If you're a normal employee, a W-2 employee, you pay 7.5% of tax out of your paycheck, and then your job pays the other 7.5% on your behalf, which completes the 15%. If you work for yourself, there's a self-employment tax, whereas though you pay the whole 15% to Social Security. So you pay all of this from the time that you're, let's just say, 18, and then you're supposed to retire at 65. Now they've moved the age up. Now I think I would be able to retire around 67 to 70. So they're already kicking the can down the road, but they're taking the money. And this money is supposed to be there for everybody. It's supposed to be guaranteed because you paid into it. But we're seeing that's not how it's working. So Social Security is really a lifeline for about 68 million Americans, retirees, disabled people, families. And, 1 in 4 seniors are already living in poverty before the cuts. So if you cut that by another, $400 a month times, that's another $4,800 cut, per year. And you're already at the poverty line or below the poverty line, it's going to really be hard for them to get by. So you telling me that they got to take a pay cut? That's crazy. You work all these years, you pay into the system. The system is supposed to do whatever they need to do with the money, not take from the money, which most administrations have taken money from Social Security and not put it back. And now when it comes time to retire, you telling people, or they get close to retirement, people really looking forward to retirement. And you're just going to tell them, hey, we got it, but we ain't got it all. Y'all got to take a little haircut when we build in inflation into our economy. So everything's going to go up. but they're going to bring Social Security down. So, as you also heard, healthcare is tied to this because Medicare is feeling the heat and they're running low on money. I think they said the by 2033 they could be looking at not being able to pay for certain hospital stays and procedures and things like that. So you have Medicare who's going to cut services. Then seniors do have to pay for their prescriptions and they do have to pay something for their doctor visits. So you tell me they're going to have less money for their doctor's visits. And then on top of that, they're going to receive less care through Medicare. So why is this happening? I mean, we got to keep it real. So it's a numbers game, and the math is not adding up. So back in like 1960, you had like 5 work days. You have like 5 workers paying into Social Security for every retiree. But today we're down to about 2.8 retirees, workers per retiree. So what that means is we had 5 workers, and this really, when you think about it, sounds like a Ponzi scheme. So you have 5 people paying money out of their pocket to go to a retiree. So it really sounds like a pyramid scheme because you would really need more people. You would need a constant influx of more people to pay for the next group of people. And as we discussed in a prior video, the birth rates are down. People are having less kids. They've been having less kids for quite some time. And we're down to 2.8 workers per retiree. And by 2035, it's going to go to about 2.3. And that's like asking 2 people to carry a whole couch up of 5 flights of steps. Like this, the baby boomers are retiring. About 10,000 of them retire a day. People are living longer thanks to, certain new medications and, advancements in our healthcare system and our knowledge. Yeah. So fewer young people are paying into the system, and it's really like a demographic tsunami. So don't get it twisted. This ain't just a senior problem. If you're 30, 40, 50, technically at 60 you're not a senior, so I'm not gonna leave y'all out. 30, if you're 20, let's throw everybody in there. If you're 18, 20, 30, 40, 50, or 60, you need to be paying attention. This is your future. The system is hemorrhaging money, about $200 billion a year. And if we don't fix it, everybody's going to feel the pain. Healthcare costs are already sky high, like absurd. And they're only going to go higher. If Social Security check get cut, how are you going to cover that? We're talking about real people, real struggles. Your grandma, my grandma, your aunt, your uncle, your father, your mother, your daughter, your child. Like, we're talking about real people. And maybe even you. So now, what's the government going to do about this? That's the question. Now, spoiler alert, not enough. This is not the first time we've been in this predicament, but we're back again. It's kind of like SEPTA in Philly. Yeah. Every so often, they let you know they're running out of money. So Congress is out here playing chess with our money, or we would like to believe that they're playing chess with our money, but more like playing checkers with our money at this point. So they have proposals floating around, raising the payroll tax cap, bumping retirement age to 69, which really doesn't help. It'll help save the program for certain people, but it will also harm other people who can't work at 67, 68, 65. So means testing benefits so that the rich get, or people who have more money get less from Social Security. So there's even some talks about privatization. I don't know how that would work, but that's a whole. It's like, so that's a whole nother can of worms because I don't know how that would work. So I ain't hold my breath for the politicians to get it right because they too busy pointing the fingers, which is how politics work. So just check this. So there's a bill called the Social Security Expansion Act. It could boost benefits by $2,400 a year, and it could keep the program solvent for 75 years. Sounds dope, right? But it's stuck in Congress, and they're moving slow. And meanwhile, some senators are talking about new investment funds to save Social Security. I mean, which is cool, but where's the money coming from? And don't get me started on the big, beautiful bill, which just don't get me started on that. So as we talk about so furthermore, like digging more into healthcare, this is where it gets ugly. So Social Security cuts don't mean just less money for Netflix or date night. Seniors are going to struggle to pay for doctor visits, as I mentioned earlier, for their medications. Medicare is already under pressure, as we said before. So imagine your grandma having to choose between her heart medicine and her groceries. That's the reality we're looking at by 2034. So with healthcare costs rising faster than inflation, it's like a double punch, really. It's like they hit you with the jab, then they hit you with they hit you with the jab, then hit you with the overhand. So we have to protect our elders. They worked their whole lives, they paid into the system, and now we telling them that they just got to figure it out. It's really kind of disrespectful, but that's kind of what we get from our government a lot of the times. So enough with the bad news. How can you stay ahead and how can you get by? What's your plan? So number one, don't sleep on this. If you're young, start planning now, like right now, today. Social Security might not be there, be the way it is as it is today. So you got to build up your own money. You have to max out your 401ks. You have to get your Roth IRAs. You have to invest in index funds. This is not financial advice, but invest in index funds. If you so choose, diversify your income streams. You got to get side hustles, real estate, assets, whatever. Don't just rely on the government to save you. If you're closer to retirement, you have to be more strategic. So you have to talk to a financial advisor, figure out the best time to claim Social Security and maximize your benefits. And put your lawmakers to, you got to push your lawmakers to fix it. So you call them, tweet them, X them. I don't know if it's called tweeting or Xing them no more, but you show up to the town halls and you complain, and not enough complaints go through, and they just do whatever they want to do. They do what's in the best interest of them a lot of the time. And this is our money. This is our money. This is our government. We fund everything. It's our future. And if you got elders in your life, you need to check on them and make sure that they have a plan and see how they're going to handle their healthcare costs. If you know people who are approaching this age, you need to speak to them and maybe give them some of this same advice that you're receiving right here. So as 2034 is creeping up on us and Social Security is on shaky ground, seniors are facing healthcare crisis, and we can't just sit back and hope it works out. We got to move smart. We got to plan. We got to invest, and we have to hold politicians accountable. This ain't just about numbers. It's about people, your family, your neighbors, again, your uncles, your sisters, your brothers, and maybe even you. So what's the next move? You let me know what the next move is. How do you plan on dealing with the shortfall that's coming up in the future? Comment down below, please. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you on the next